What's going on, everyone? This is the Aggie Game Day Extra podcast. I'm senior Texas A&M sportswriter Travis Brown here at KBTX. Got a little bit of a special episode for y'all today. Joining us over there in Arizona is former Texas A&M pitcher Ryan Prager, who's about to kickstart his season in minor league baseball. Ryan, first off, how you doing? How's the weather over there in Arizona?
I'm doing well. It's great out here right now. We haven't gotten too hot yet, so um, it's been great. I mean, it's sunny every day, which is awesome, and lately it's been 80 degrees, so can't really complain.
Yeah. So you're about to start in the Arizona Complex League with the Guardians, the Cleveland Guardians team down there. What does that kind of season look like? Y'all are starting a little bit later. What can fans of yours expect to see with that? Because I think it's a part of the minor league system that maybe not a whole lot of fans know about.
Yeah, I think part of my build up for the season right now has been a little thrown off. Um,
Recording in progress.
because of being in the WBC, there was this longer built out timeline that we had afterwards. Um, so I've kind of just been continuing that, and we'll probably get into the beginning of the ACL and then get out and get the affiliate and go play baseball.
Yeah, so we'd be remiss not to talk a little bit about the WBC. What was it like getting to represent Israel and be a part of that just right out of college?
Yeah, it was sweet. It was something that I knew was a possibility, but really didn't think was going to come to fruition in year one. Um, but it was something that was unbelievable. I told everybody that has asked about it that it was everything that I expected and more. Just being around a bunch of guys that had a similar background as me, and then getting to bond over baseball and go play against some of the best players in the world and get to go compete and kind of prove that you belong was a lifelong experience.
What was maybe one conversation from that, from maybe a guy who had a little pro experience, or one part of that you think you'll just kind of carry with you for a long time from that experience?
Yeah, I think I'll take two things from it a lot. I think I'll take the relationships that we made because you just, like I said, you're bonding with guys that the first conversation has nothing to do with baseball. It has to do with your upbringing and your family and things like that. I think the second thing that you take away from it is just getting to play in big league ballparks against, I mean, we played the Dominican Republic, and that team is better than any one major league team that'll ever be put together. So, I mean, getting to hang your hat on that is something really special.
Yeah. So what's kind of your outlook for yourself? What have you been trying to work on leading up to this part of the minor league season, and how do you feel like you might be a different or more polished pitcher coming into this year?
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of really cool things from a throwing standpoint, just pushing some of the intent, and it's one of the funny things with pitching. You can never have too much velo, so to say. And that was one of my lower hanging fruits. So we were working on that once we got back from the WBC, and we've seen some really good progress. So um, it'll be really cool. I think the ACL season starts Saturday, and then after that, kind of see what my affiliate schedule looks like and get to go play.
Yeah. So with the ACL, it's a short season, right? That you'll get kind of back into the swing of things, and then you'll get sent out to one of the other farm clubs. Is that how that usually works?
Yeah, so the ACL is how it used to be, I believe, is it would start at the beginning of the year and then it would end super short. And now it starts a little bit later and it runs till about just after the draft. Um, so it's good for a lot of younger guys. I think for me, it'll kind of be used as a little bit of a bridge, just keep building up my pitch count, get back into some games, and then kind of get out. Kind of as that just build up from a health standpoint.
How have you been able to adjust, or like it's the kind of the business side, the professional side, and how do you like the organization so far?
Yeah, it's been great. Cleveland's awesome. We have a bunch of really cool, really good people here that really care about you as a person and as a player. So it's been very collaborative, not just being kind of told what to do and not being super hands off. So a lot of people, everybody's kind of got a say, and you kind of all talk about it. So that's been great. But it's definitely different. I mean, the college game, you're fighting so hard for each game. Each game means so much, and you're with this same group of guys for a whole year, and you have tight bonds, and you're working toward one goal, which is to get to Omaha and win that last game of the year. So it's a little bit different. One's more win now, and every game is super important, and one's more development. Hey, how can you help the big league club win here in 3 years?
Over 40 years ago, my parents started C&J Barbecue, and today we continue to honor Dad's legacy with the best barbecue in the Brazos Valley. With locations on Harvey Road, Southwest Parkway, and our newest location on William Joe Bryan, we carry on our family tradition of serving up award-winning barbecue, sides, and desserts. We also offer delivery, catering, as well as custom menus and private chef services. Come visit us today for some of the best barbecue around. C&J Barbecue. The C is for Chip, the J is for Joe, and the barbecue is for you.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you mentioned the college game, and I know you've been able to keep an eye on everything that's going on here in Aggie Land. What's some of the things that stood out to you so far about this A&M team that seemed to be on a little bit of a roll here as they've gone through SEC play?
Yeah, they've been fun to watch. I mean, I think the first thing that stands out is they can swing it. The lineup is not a fun one to pitch against. So I think that's the first thing that jumps out. I think it's really cool also having three freshmen in there. I know they've gotten a lot of really good publicity in there, and Jorian's gotten a lot as of late. But just having three true freshmen in a lineup in the SEC is unheard of. I mean, especially having two of them play on the left side of the infield, which are probably the two hardest positions on the infield to play, especially as freshmen. Has been awesome to see. And then I think you're seeing the pitching staff just continue to come around. Like you're seeing people mold into roles that maybe they weren't at the beginning of the year, and now they kind of are this unit that just kind of goes and they just compete on the mound.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the pitching too, because like you said, they've kind of found their stride a little bit. But even when things weren't necessarily going great earlier in the year, it was mostly just because of solo home runs. Like, how hard is it as a pitcher in the SEC? I mean, it's simply just to kind of keep the ball in the yard. And how frustrating can it be in those instances where like you're keeping guys off the base pass? It's just you're facing some really good hitters who can hit it really far.
Yeah. I mean, I think in the SEC with some of the ballparks that you play in and just how good and big and strong guys have gotten, it's hard because you try to tell guys that we're fine giving up solo homers. It's avoiding the walks and the hit by pitches that turn into 2 and 3 run homers. So some of those days where I think there was one Shane gave up 5 or 4 solo shots one day, and it's like we don't think solo shots beat us. So it gets frustrating when maybe there's 4 of them, and then you look up and it's a 4-4 ball game in the seventh. But I think what you continue to see is those guys continue to stay in the zone. They continue to compete. They continue to not be afraid of guys, and it kind of balances out as the year goes on.
Yeah, yeah, and they've had a lot of swing and miss. Strikeout to walk ratio has been low. Is it when you're in those situations? How much do you just kind of lean back on like, hey, I'm getting a lot of swing and miss. I'm still getting a lot of strikeouts and putting the ball in the right place. It's just cleaning up 1 or 2 pitches.
Yeah, I think that's huge. I mean, we can use Shane again as the example. Shane's been punching out a lot of guys, and that means the stuff is still there, and the stuff is really good. There's just been a couple that are in the zone, and guys put really good swings on him. Like he makes the same pitch 2 times in a row, and one time it's a swing and miss, and one time sometimes you got to tip your cap, and the guy does a good job. So, uh, I mean, he'd be a little bit frustrated about it, but I think you've seen through the year that he's staying committed to that plan. and he's not letting one bad day change his approach. And you've seen his last couple outings be really good.
Yeah, and Aiden Sims is a guy who's probably been one of the better arms on the staff this year. He's a young guy. You were a guy out there who got handed the ball early in your career. What's that like going out and making that adjustment quickly, kind of like he has?
Yeah, it's been great to see Aiden do what he's done. I mean, Aiden last year, his year was kind of a unique one, just up and down, and got some opportunities, but then did a lot of work on like Wednesdays and in the pen, and worked a lot with the pitching group. And one thing about Aiden is he's fearless, and he's willing to do anything. He's willing to try anything. There's no ego, and I think you're seeing all that work and all that just person that he is kind of come out. Like, the guy throws a ton of strikes, willing to throw any pitch, any count. He's willing to throw any pitch. I think at one point he was throwing like 6 different pitches. Um, so Aiden's done a great job. I mean, just getting into this role, this is the most he's ever thrown. So he's handled that really, really well.
Yeah, of course. A couple weeks ago, A&M takes the 2-game sweep of Texas. How good was it as a alumni now or a former student to see that and see those guys accomplish that this year?
Yeah, that was fun to see. I think it was fun seeing what the crowd looked like, and I mean that looked just as good as that Oregon Super in 2024, if not even just. I didn't watch the Oregon Super from TV, but on TV that Texas series looked loud as heck, and I'm sure in the stadium it was even louder than it felt on TV. Um, but that was great to see. It was also good to see the guys just play really clean baseball in a really heightened environment.
Yeah, for sure. So we're at that point in the season. There's just a 3 or so series left. You have one midweek game left. What's kind of the vibes going through the season as you kind of hit the late innings of the regular season? You know that you probably have. You're in the tournament. You're probably hosting a regional. What's kind of the mindset as a player as you're trying to kind of finish this thing out strong?
Yeah, you try not to assume anything. So you might know that you have a really good shot of being in the tournament or a good shot of hosting and playing at home. But you try not to assume any of that because you still want to end the year feeling good and in a good stride and playing well. So I think you keep treating it like it had been. So you're wanting to win each game. You're wanting to treat each game as its own, and you just really want to play good baseball coming down the stretch. And I think that's the main focus. Obviously, guys want to stay healthy and take care of their bodies more now, just because it's been a long season. But you're still just trying to play well and win. It becomes even more about the team at this point.
Yeah, and there's as you're getting closer to the SEC tournament, the NCAA tournament, there's usually a demand for a fourth starting pitcher, if not maybe a fifth, depending on how the bracket goes. If you're one of those guys like a Grant Cunningham or a Gavin Lyons or one of these guys that is getting a lot of reps on Tuesday, how much is there a kind of a heightened sense of working out for that job and trying to get yourself positioned for that job if that is a situation the team finds themselves in?
Yeah, I mean, I think you always think about that a little bit. Once you get to the postseason, though, it's very like win this game now, and then we'll kind of see what happens. But you've seen certain guys get stretched out. I mean, we saw Vargas get it on Tuesday. Gavin's been stretched out a good amount. Grant's eaten up a good chunk. We've seen even some of the freshmen. I mean, Cole Hubert started. So I think they have options, but it also comes back to you have to win the game at hand first, and then you can worry about the next one.
And then we'll close it out with this. There's a big top 10 matchup this weekend. Looks like another time where tickets are going to be hard to find. What's it like playing in those environments? Not only with the fans in the stands, but knowing the kind of competition that you're going to be coming up against. What's the prep work like and the emotions like heading into a series like that?
Yeah, as a player, you love it. I mean, in my years at A&M, like every big series we loved, and we even got up maybe more for it just because the crowds get into it and you start bumping a little bit, but also playing at home in those big matchups, as people say, we kind of just treated them as another game or another weekend because every weekend in the SEC is tough, regardless of who you play. But being able to play at home makes it even that much better. Like you see how the crowds get up, and there's been that buzz around the park this year. You can feel it, kind of like we had in 24. So it makes the players want to show up even more. Like you just get excited just to be at the ballpark for the game, and once the umpire says play a ball, everybody in that dugout is ready to rock, just like everybody in the stadium.
Well, it's a big weekend here in Aggieland. A&M top 10 matchup. Baseball against Auburn. Softball team is going up against Oklahoma, one of the dynasties of the sport. First time playing them since they've been in SEC, so there will be a lot of good stuff going on. Big thanks to Ryan Prager for joining us for this abbreviated version of the pod this week. Ryan, appreciate your time. This is the Aggie Game Day Extra podcast, and we'll see you again next week.